All right, guys, so here we have Henry's 131 nice performance lowrider S. We did not do the powder coat on the wheels, somebody else did, but we did all the powder coat on the motor. So this is a nice motor build video. Hopefully you guys stay tuned to the end and enjoy it. Guys, if you have any questions regarding this stuff, feel free to give us a call. Once again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, and keep up with everything that's going on here at the shop. So here we go, guys. Enjoy this video. All right, guys, so here we go. So we got real nice S&S oil pump, cam plate, chain tensioner, cam change kit, real nice F47 cam. So here is the F47 cam from Star Racing. Lifter cuffs, Jim's USA Powerglide Lifters. So we're getting ready to start installing the cam bearing. We already have all the gasket surface clean. We already chased all the threads. Everything's real nice and clean, ready to go. So that's a very important job. We always do it. I know it takes you a little longer, but it's always best. Sand all your gasket surface, deburr everything, make sure everything's nice and smooth, just so you can see all the junk that was taken out of all these little cam bolts and stuff here. Lifter block bolt holes there. It's very important to get everything nice and clean, so make sure that everything gets torqued down to specs where it's supposed to go. So next thing to do is put the cam bearing in there and start installing everything. All right, guys, so we have cam bearing installed. Of course, we just checked the run out. So we got the first part of the oil pump body installed, getting ready to install the second part of the oil pump body. I just want to take a small little opportunity to show you guys that whenever you guys are installing this, for some of you guys are doing this stuff at home, try to remove as much of the oil, excessive oil, right? Because you got to gear up your oils there, your gears there. This way you don't have oil in between your oil pump body, oil pump plate, and make sure you get a good, nice, solid foundation, and not if you have any oil contaminants there, you could probably serve as a barrier, and then you tighten it, then eventually the oil dries up or oil gets removed, then you have a loose oil pump. So anyway, just a small little tip. I'm going to continue and put this on, start getting ready to install the cam on the cam plate. All right, so moving along pretty good. We got the oil pump, cam plate, cam already installed. Everything's good to go here, all Loctited, torqued down to specs. So we're getting ready to install our Jim's Powerglide lifters. So what we're going to do is on the rear side, we're going to install the Jim's ones, and for now we're going to install some solid lifters in the front. So later on, when we get the cylinders and heads and everything done, we can check our piston to valve clearance. So the solid lifters is going to give us a true lift of the cam, but that will be coming later. So what I'm going to do now is get this installed, get the S&S lifter cuffs, put the cam cover back on, and start getting ready to work on the piston. All right, guys, so we have the cam cover on. We have our nice 131 JCS Performance points cover there. All this is good to go. So what I'll do is we started with our cylinder and piston information here. So we got the cylinder nice and washed and clean. Always wash and clean your cylinders before you get this thing started. I want to take this chance and show you guys this real nice piston design from T-Man. Really, really nice. And one thing that I really like about it is where the wrist pin goes. They're wider here, and they're also wider apart, giving you better stability with the piston going up and down. Gives you a bigger valve pocket so you can run oversized valves. On this motor, we're going to run 2.5 intake and exhaust valves, oversized, from George Bryce over at Star Racing. So we did our formulas, and we ended up finding out how much we had to machine or file off our ring end gap. So got that done. But I want to take this chance also and show you guys this ring pack is really nice. Look at this scraper, nice and wide, heavy duty. The rings are really nice and wide as well. So we have the front cylinder, piston, and rings already installed. We just checked our cylinder to piston deck height, and it's not even close to where I want to be. It's 11 thousandths in the hole. So the kit from T-Man came with a 39 thousandths gasket, base gasket, right? So what we're going to do is contact them, see if we can get a thinner base gasket, maybe a 20 thousandths, and that would bring us down closer to where we want to be. If not, we'll have to remove the cylinder and chuck it up on the lathe and center everything and deck the cylinder to get to the cylinder and piston deck height that we're wanting. So, but meanwhile, we'll go ahead and continue with the rest of it, and we'll get with the primary side. So then we'll come back and work on this. We'll also have the heads going on at the same time, so that's a different video as well. So make sure you guys look for that as well. All right, guys. So Brandon over at T-Man Performance did send us some gaskets to try to see if we can get our cylinder and deck height where we want it. But we ended up having to remove the cylinder, and we have it currently on the machine here, and we're taking off the last 3,000ths so we can get our cylinder to piston deck height that we want, and that would give us the compression ratio we're looking for. So let me go ahead and get this cylinder done, and I'll start doing the front cylinder. All right, guys, so there we go. Just cut the last 3,000ths. This is the second cylinder, so I'm going to take this off, get everything washed, get everything installed, and check our deck height again, see how that goes. All right, so we are right around 4,000ths in the hole. So pretty good right there. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and start getting ready to assemble our head, and then start putting the rocker arms, all that stuff, push rods, so we can check our valve to piston clearance, make sure we're good there. So let me continue with that, and then we'll see what the outcome is. All right, so we just finished checking the piston to valve clearance. So if you can see, the intake valve came and touched a little bit there on the clay. But here on this side, if you can see, if we move the camera this way a little bit, we still have plenty of room from where the valve ended up to the pocket floor, and especially a lot of room from the valve to the pocket wall, which is good because this piston design gives you room for in case later on some of the bigger projects you want to go up to a 4mm valve or plus 4mm valve. You got plenty of room there for your valve pocket. Here on the exhaust side, it did touch a little bit of the clay, but again, not enough to make any issues whatsoever. So next thing is we're going to go ahead and start taking this off, clean the piston, and then start assembling the heads. All right, guys, so we have both heads already on. They're already torqued. All that stuff's good to go. So the next step for us is to get our rocker arm in play fixed. So I want to talk about two things. One is rocker arm in play. So some of you guys that are hearing that ticking noise up on top of your rocker boxes, that's one of the things. And see if I zoom in here real quick. Another thing is some of you guys, I've seen where one of the valves, the intake or exhaust valve, is protruding more than the other one. So you'll see that the rocker arm itself is hitting the top of the valve, right? The valve stem, and not hitting the other valve stem. So that's why it's very important, like with us, whenever we do a set of heads, we are very cautious on our digital readout and zero everything so we can get the exact same protrusion on both valves, so we don't get that ticking noise. That's very, very important. So here we already did our measurements. So this one is 6,000ths, this one's 8,000ths of in play. And so for me, myself, I like to run 1.5 to 2,000ths clearance. That helps us with enough clearance to get oil in there in the places where it's supposed to, keep everything nice and cool, and at the same time you don't get that ticking noise. After that, we're going to install the push rods. Now these push rods are our own push rods. It's our own design that Smith Bros makes for us. Now there's a lot of companies that have their own design of push rods. Smith Bros makes them for a lot of people. The reason why we designed these is we took what we did not like about everybody's other push rods and made it our own. So one thing is our push rods have a very thick wall, which is a 1/20,000ths thick wall. And what that does, it when your push rod is going up and down, it helps from it not flexing. I mean, you'll never see it, but they'll flex, right? Whenever you start really hammering on these motors, high RPMs, drag racing or playing around with your buddies, they'll start flexing, and then it won't give you the true lift of your cam. Your valve won't open completely the way it's supposed to, and on the long run, you're not getting the performance you're supposed to. So these push rods are made for us. Stainless steel ends back and forth, and then you can see that another thing that we didn't like was a lot of them don't have a marking. So like in that, right now we put that little pretty happy face. So we have a marking, so whenever you're going to rotate your push rod right and count how many turns, nobody marks anything to know how many turns you got. So you can either use that or use the logo as your count mark, right? Anyway, these are up on our website, and we have more description on our website. If you guys have any further questions on this, feel free to give us a call here at the shop or whatever the case is. So I'm going to get all that adjusted and get further along on that stuff, and then start putting the T-Man crankcase breathers, rocker boxes, and all that other stuff. All right, guys, so we have the rocker arms already shimmed out. You can see our shim right here. And so we have our T-Man Performance crankcase breathers. These things are amazing. I know there's a couple other companies that make them, but nothing like this. This thing's no sharp edges, everything nice and round. Serviceable, so it has a gasket in here that you can replace if you need to. This one does not have those rubber umbrellas get hard and brittle. These have little revalves made out of stainless steel. At that stainless steel hardware, really nice. So also, now that I have you guys here, if you guys are going to end up shimming your rocker arms to keep the noise down, see, this thing doesn't move, but it still has play there, enough for oil and stuff to get in between. You see how that oil's bouncing around in there? So if you notice, we zoom in, that tower has markings and that tower does not have markings. So that is your thrust side, that's your non-thrust side. So basically on your front head, that would be your thrust side, and this would be your non-thrust side. This would be your thrust, non-thrust. So you would install your shim on the non-thrust side, so the shim doesn't get torn up on the thrust side over here. So if you put the shim in the wrong side, for instance, if you put the shim here, it's just going to get torn up and eaten up and cause problems. So on this side, it would be the opposite, right? So but there we go. Next thing for me is finish this up here, and then I'm going to start working on the primary, because Juan and the guys or Brian's going to end up sandblasting all the covers. We ended up going glossy black. So I'll start working on the primary side once I get this done. All right, got all this back on. So we just put the manifold on here. So forgot to mention earlier that we poured and polished these heads, and then if you guys don't know, we manufacture these porting flanges that go on the heads. This is for a Gen 1 2.0 intake manifold. But what I wanted to show you is, see if I can zoom in back there, how perfect that manifold fits the port of the head. And that's the reason why we trying to get to focus. That's the reason why we sell these things. So for you porters out there that do that, get these manifolds from HPI, V-Twin Power Sports, and some of the Screaming Eagle ones to fit and match perfect. Anyway, the next thing for us is to jump on the primary side. The rest of the stuff's gonna get powder coated. Once that's done, then we'll continue with the motor. All right, guys, since we decided to powder coat the cam covers and stuff, that's getting done. We're gonna go ahead and start working on the primary side. So we have our Barnett clutches, fibers, and steel plates, a Evolution Industries compensator ramp bolt, and we're using a Trast spring and pressure plate. So that thing is pretty nice. This is the part number if you guys need the part number. So we did a small video on different spring pressures between the Barnett one, the Trask, and the factory one. So we have another video on that if you guys want to go check that out. So we're getting ready to get everything nice and cleaned up, and then we'll install all that. And then meanwhile the powder coating is getting done, then we can continue on the motor. All right, guys, so here's the powder coat already all done. Everything came out extremely nice. So now what we're gonna do is we'll have Juan help me clean the bottom of the edge, get everything nice and clean, surfaced, and then we'll start the assembly. All right, guys, moving along pretty good. So getting ready to install the rocker boxes, getting the HPI throttle body installed. So we've got all the powder coat already installed. So once I get this on, we can deal with all this other extra stuff and hook up all this stuff and then get ready to do the exhaust. So getting closer. Alright guys, just finished doing the dyno tuning here on Henry's motorcycle. So this thing did very well, very happy with the results. So we have two sets of numbers, one with the Thunderheader that's on his motorcycle and the Bassani exhaust 2-into-1 with our baffle that we are experimenting with. So when it first came in, it came in as a 117 stock motor, just a Thunderheader, and we did a base run of 90 horse 118 torque. So we'll close that, and then we did the dyno tuning on with the Bassani exhaust, 164.58, 157.59, extremely well. Look at that, look at that torque, look at that horsepower. It just keeps climbing. Actually, I think it would have went more, but it was cutting off right around 5,800. Extremely nice torque. Very happy with this thing. Made a lot of power. Then we went and tried the Bassani with our baffle that we're working on, and we made 165, 159.98, 160. Very nice. That power, that exhaust pipe baffle that we're working on is making some power. It has a little bit of a dip there. It gets kind of rich in that area there, but overall very pleased with this. Guys, thanks for watching. This thing is amazing. I'm gonna get it down, go ride it around the street for a little bit, then send it home to Henry. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, and keep up with all the cool stuff that's going on here. We have a lot of big motor builds, a lot of head work, a lot of dyno tuning. Once again guys, thanks for watching.